So we begin in The Hague, where Germany has been accused of aiding and abetting genocide in Gaza in a case before the UN's top court. It was brought by Nicaragua and calls for emergency measures to stop Germany from selling weapons to Israel. It also wants Berlin to restore funding to the UN's Agency for Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA. More than 33,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza in 6 months of bombardment, nearly half of them children.
If the actions of Israel continue unrestrained as they have since its birth as a state, and they continue to receive the indiscriminate support of states like Germany, then a new generation of Palestinians will rise up again in the near future. And we will hear a future Secretary General commenting, "This did not happen in a vacuum." The case before the court is an opportunity to break this vicious cycle. Without support of states like Germany, Israel will not feel it can act with total impunity. Nicaragua is hopeful that states, particularly with the history of Germany, will heed the decisions of this court.
Our correspondent, Step Vasson, joins us now live from The Hague. Step, Nicaragua spent 2 hours this morning making its case to the court. You were there listening to all of it. What else did we hear from its representatives?
Well, it's been a very uncomfortable morning for Germany here at the highest court in The Hague, 80 years after the Holocaust. And although Germany hasn't been directly involved in the war in Gaza, Nicaragua says it has been facilitating genocide by sending weapons. And instead, it has an obligation to prevent genocide because it's a signatory to the Genocide Convention. But what Germany did instead, it has increased the sales of weapons to Israel tenfold compared to 2022, especially after October 7. And also Nicaragua argued this raison d'etat that Germany is citing for its commitment to Israel, which is unconditional because of what happened in the past, because of what happened during the Holocaust, is misleading because Nicaragua says it's about Israel. And that's a different thing than talking about the Jews. And he also said that, that Germany is making a lot of money selling these weapons, and the arms facturers are making real profits right now. And that's also something one member of the legal team, David Muller, actually said, Daniel Muller, sorry, during the trial.
This includes export licenses for weapons of war in the value of 20 million euros, such as 3,000 anti-tank weapons, which according to one manufacturer in Germany are a complete toolbox of shoulder-launched infantry weapons used against tanks, but also vehicles, structures and buildings, and persons. 500,000 rounds of machine gun ammunition, 44 propellant charges, a key component in artillery ammunition, and 239 ignition charges. And the German news magazine Der Spiegel revealed information about plans of the German government to deliver tank ammunition from the stocks of the German armed forces.
Well, tomorrow Germany will have its chance to respond to the allegations. Tomorrow Germany will have its chance to respond to the allegations with its highest legal advisor to the foreign ministry. But it already came out this afternoon saying that all the allegations made by Nicaragua are grossly biased. It's going to be a very interesting test case for international justice because the two countries, Nicaragua and Germany, are not directly involved in the war in Gaza. So it's an unprecedented case. So legal experts around the world are really following this, and we will hear if a ruling will be made on provisional measures Nicaragua has asked for in the next coming weeks.
OK, Step, many thanks for bringing us up to speed on all the events that have been happening there at The Hague at the International Court of Justice this morning. Well, lawyer and diplomat Tanja von Uslar-Gleichen is representing Germany before the ICJ, and she says that the government is upholding international law.
Germany rejects the allegations made by Nicaragua today. Germany does not and never did violate the Genocide Convention nor international humanitarian law, neither directly nor indirectly. On the contrary, Germany is committed to the uphold of international law, and this is what we work for internationally. We will tomorrow present our position in detail to this court. So much I can already tell you today. Nicaragua's presentation was grossly biased, and we will be telling you tomorrow how we fully live up to our responsibilities.
Our correspondent in Berlin, Dominic Kane, joins us now live. And Dominic, Germany is saying that it's been misrepresented by Nicaragua in court today. Is that the general feeling inside Germany?
The thing to point out here is that the government's reaction that we've been hearing there has been being put out for several days now. Certainly on Friday, the Foreign Office spokespeople were saying effectively what we just heard there, this idea that they really have no truck with the case that's being brought forward, that puts them in the frame, as it were. There is no question that this issue is dividing opinion in this country. On the one side, you have people who say that they can't understand why the German government takes the position it does vis-à-vis Israel, in a more general sense, about the support that it offers to the State of Israel, about the protections that it puts in place for the State of Israel. And then on the other side of this debate, you have people who say, well, actually, no, it is important for Germany to recognize its cultural and historical responsibility in this situation and to be protective of the State of Israel and its right to exist. That certainly is something which government ministers and many different people in the government infrastructure, as it were, have adhered to going back many years, many decades even.
There is opposition, isn't there, in Germany? What are we actually seeing manifest itself in opposition to the government's support of Israel?
Well, this is where it becomes more, as it were, a matter of conjecture, because there has been, certainly over the course of the last 12 hours, 24 hours or so, a statement put out by what is claimed to be several hundred German civil servants, none of whom is prepared to metaphorically put their heads over the parapet and go public with their name and their face, but have put out a statement which calls on the German government to disassociate itself from its policy thus far regarding Israel, to remember its commitments to justice, to the humanitarian cause around the world, that sort of thing. And in doing that, what they are doing, as it were, is continuing something that has had a head of steam, as it were, building up over the course of the last few months from other civil servants around the European Union and beyond, certainly in the United Kingdom as well, who in the course of the last few months have put out statements, again, under the cloak of anonymity, saying that governments in the West should be much more mindful of what they are doing and the effect of the policies, the effect the policies they are maintaining insofar as Israel is concerned, is actually having on the ground in Gaza. But it is worth making the point, there is this opposition, but it is coming from people who are using the shield of anonymity in order to put out their point of view.
OK. Dominic Kane, bring us the view there from Berlin. Thanks very much, Dominic.